Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum students. I hope you all are good. Today we are going to start our theorem number 5 of Unit 10 Demonstrative Geometry, in which the theorem says if two sides of a triangle are congruent, then angle opposite to these sides are congruent. So that means we are given with one triangle, which is triangle ABC, and you can see that AB, AC and BC are the three sides of these triangle, and angle A, B and C are the three angles of this triangle. So as we know that the first statement of the theorem is always the given statements, which says that if two sides of a triangle are congruent, that means we can take the two sides. Let's suppose we take AB and AC are the two sides of this triangle and which are congruent to each other. So it is already given in the theorem. So we can write in the given statement as in triangle ABC, side AB is congruent to side BC. Now coming towards the next statement, we know that the next statement of the theorem is always the proof statement. So what we have to prove, then angle opposite to these sides are congruent. So that means the angle that are opposite to these sides, which is angle B and angle C, these two angles must be congruent. So in the proof we can write as angle B must be congruent to angle C, and we have to prove it. So now coming towards the construction, in construction you can see that we have done draw bisector of angle A which meet BC at D. Now as we know that we have to do the construction. Construction is basically the modification that we do in any theorem in a figure in order to make a theorem solvable and convenient for us. So in this theorem, the construction we have done is we have made the bisector of this angle 1, the bisector, and which meet the side BC at point D. We have made one angular bisector of angle A. Okay, now coming towards the proof, we see that in the very first statement it is written in triangle ADB, in the correspondence of triangle ADB and ADC. Now this means that we have to check the correspondence between the two triangles. One triangle is ADB and the other is ADC. Now you can see that one is ADB, which is this triangle, and the other is ADC, which is this triangle. That means we have splitted this whole triangle into two triangles. So now we have to check the correspondence between these two triangles, this one and this one. So checking the correspondence between two triangles, what we come across with. Okay, now in both the triangles you can see that AB is and AC are the corresponding sides of these two triangles, and which are equal to each other, as we know that it is given in the statement that these two sides are equal to each other. So we can say that we can write given in the reasons, and we know that AB is congruent to AC. Now coming towards the next statement, which says angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Now why is it so? Because we know that we in the construction we have bisected this angle A into two halves, and we know that both the two halves are equal to each other, because bisection means splitting up into two equal halves. So angle 1 and angle 2 are equal to each other, as we have done this thing in the construction, so we can write in the reason as construction. Now coming towards the third point, which is AD is congruent to AD. So we know that this side is AD, which you can see is common in both the triangles, this triangle and this triangle. So that means this AD is actually common in both the triangles and they are equal to each other. So we are done with this point and we can write the common in reasons. Now coming towards the basic point, we have proved that the two sides, one side and one this side, the two sides and one angle of the two corresponding triangles are equal to each other. That means the whole triangle is equal to each other completely. Both of these triangles, these two triangles, are equal to each other completely by using side angle side postulates, because this was the one side, this was the other side, and this was the angle. So that means by using the side angle size postulate, we have proved that both the two triangles are equal to each other. And if we know that whole of the two triangles are equal, so that means each and everything in these two triangles are equal to each other. So we can say that these angle B and angle C must also be congruent to each other, as whole of the triangles are congruent to each other. So here we are done with the proof that if two sides of a triangle are congruent, then the angle opposite to these sides are also congruent, and we have proved that B is congruent to angle B is congruent to angle C. So this is all about this theorem. I hope you have got it and understood it well. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.